Hey, folks. Hey, Colton. How you doing, brother? I'm trying to get my other my tablet up and running here so I can see comments without having to toggle between screens. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'm sorry for the silence. All right. Looks like the futures are continuing to gain a little bit of steam here. Yeah. They're ripping now. This is why you simply can't Okay, this is not going to work. You just can't go shorting these markets willy-nilly nowadays. It's just way too manipulated. It's a 30-minute chart. Going to a 4-hour chart. We're breaking out here. Bitcoin was up earlier. Now it's getting clubbed. The Russell breaking out. Crude catching a bid. I don't think this is going to last. Bonds getting decimated. I don't even want to look at gold. All right. Okay. So, Cole, you have anything else you want me to take a look at for you? Anybody else as well? It's an open mic format. Whatever you want me to take a look at, I'd be more than happy to do it. I know we went over a lot in the last session, and I went very, very long. I was shocked to see it was 7 o'clock when I was sending out the invite. Just want to check out the news. This is new. Gloves come off. China insists this is in response to the Hong Kong issue, that legislation. Gloves come off. China insists existing tariffs must be scrapped for phase one trade deal, yet stocks are moving up higher. All right. Amazing. Amazing. Teva. Okay, let's take a look at it. When did you enter it? I mean, the biotechs have been on a tear of late. I haven't looked at Teva in a while. And I'm assuming that you're long. Let's take a look at it. Wow. And this didn't split, right? That's your actual basis cost, huh? Oof. All right. So I'm going to make certain assumptions here. And the assumptions are that you don't need the money right now. And correct me if I'm wrong. All right. So I think what I have is mostly good news for you. Let me just go back. All right, good. Okay, good. All right. So excuse me one second. Okay. What we did here, and you'll know this better than I do, so I'm just repeating this for the benefit of other viewers, is that we bottomed out here in August of 2019, consolidated, and we broke out last month. Now, the only short-term problem I see here is that we hit resistance at 10.85. Not a huge amount of resistance there, so I think that it's easily overcome. And this sector, don't forget, is in fuego. Right, so here's the biotech index. It bottomed out back in December of 18, put in a higher low in October, November, broke out. Not through one support or resistance level, but two. So we may get a pullback here and a retest. That's all good. No problem with that. Love it. It's a validation of the breakout. I mean, in fact, even on a daily chart, these stocks have come a long way here. And we take a look at LABU, and I'll go back to Teva in a moment. You know, very extended here. So I would expect some short-term weakness in the next week or two, and that's fine. Let's drill down to a weekly chart on Teva. So what I'm looking for here is a breakout on a, this is a daily, weekly chart. All right. We'll use it anyway. All right, so I think we could break out here, but ideally what we do is we dance around, we retest, and the most, you don't want to hear this, right? But because right now you want to get back to even. But ideally we break out, retest, bounce off of this lower band of the rising uptrend channel. That sets the stage for a continuation move higher. Now to the weekly chart. So weekly resistance. You know, it's never good, and I've been reluctant to say this, but I am going to say it, because you get people out there that'll yell at me because you're averaging down a position. But because the rule of thumb is that you don't average down a losing position. You really, technically you are averaging down a losing position. However, the rationale of as to why you're adding to the position is sound. It's beginning to break out of a base. The sector is strong. So it's a logical reason. If you're averaging down as the shares are continuing to break to new lower lows, then that's bad strategy. But I think that right now at current, it would be sound strategy, because this sector is probably going to, this stock is probably going to play catch up with the rest of the sector. It'll probably continue to underperform, but it's got a little bit of catch up to be done here. I don't know what the short interest is, but I would certainly take a look at that. All right, so if I broke out above this upper band of resistance here, I'd want to know about that. I would be a buyer of the shares on a breakout above 1089 per share. So a lot of making up here to do, I'll grant you that, but the stage is being set for a positive move higher for you. I would just continue to add in increments and buy on strength. And if we begin to break down, it begins to roll over again, then of course don't average down. That would be a bad thing. So I hope that helps. Do you want any of these? I could send you out the links to these charts. As long I'm learning, I should have set a stop loss. Everybody has to learn that, pal. It's not just you. I was included in that club, and not just once. They have 25 shares. Good. Okay. So here's the monthly. I'll give you the weekly. And the daily chart. You're all set, Colton. And again, it's so critical. Buy strength. Buy strength. Okay. You're welcome, Colton. Anytime. Anybody else have any other symbols they want me to go over? Questions, concerns, talk positions, anything you want. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. And how is the video here? Is it a little bit better now? I still haven't made the corrections. I got to learn how to do that. While I'm waiting, I'm going to bring up the futures again. There we go. Gold continues to weaken. It's interesting. Seeing a lot of topping action on the Russell. So it's going to be interesting to see how we close out the futures session. Now we're poised to open up tomorrow morning. Do we hold these gains? Do we get a continuation move higher on a weekly basis? Or do we fade? Because we were going on Friday. We were breaking down on Friday. Is this a dead cat bounce? I'm growing a little bit suspicious of this rally back here, to be honest with you. I want to check out the dollar. I think what we're looking at here is very thin trade. I think it's quite possible we see a reversal of these gains. Yeah, look at these topping tails. All right. I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see a reversal of these gains by tomorrow morning, because, you know, it's very, very concerning that we have headline news out there at current, which is typically very, very negative. Yet, the markets are doing the exact opposite. So, I'm skeptical of this evening's rally in the markets and on the US dollar. Oh, Steve, your video is good. It's at 480, 720. Okay, so it's looking good? Is that good, Steve? I'll review it later on. Check your resolution. I'm seeing this thing here. Check your resolution. Current resolution is 1152 by 648, which is not optimal. I have no idea what they mean by that. And they don't even give you instructions on how to fix it. All right, anyway. All right, with that, if there's nothing else, folks, I'm going to say goodnight. And I wouldn't get all that influenced by this evening's price action on the futures. I'm not buying into it. I think that there's some very, very negative headlines out there, and all of them point to China. And I'm just not buying this rally this morning. It looks pretty good, but I think it's going to fade. And with that, hey, Varun, happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. 720 resolution is much better. Sometimes you broadcast at 720. Okay. Thanks, Colin. Bitcoin? Yeah, I could go over Bitcoin. Oof. So just looking at the weekly chart first. I like it. I think we're going to have a rough week this week, but I think it's probably going to pull back, retest, because we broke out. We reversed last week. We're obviously weak currently, but I think that we could easily retest the support level at 72.42, thereabouts. Granted, it's $200 below where we're at right now, a little bit less than that. But that would be a good thing. We pull back and retest that breakout point. I mean, it's a great risk-reward entry point because all you do is stop out on a break back down below the support level, and you have a lot of upside potential with minimal downside risk. Daily chart. I think you get in the neighborhood of 7,200 to 7,000, thereabouts. I think that the shares, or I think Bitcoin is a buy. But I wouldn't buy it until we begin to put in higher lows and then begin to proceed higher. Because that current, it's just telling us it wants to go low. We haven't taken out the lows of Friday yet. But I think that's probably going to happen. 4-hour chart. Here's our gap. Here's the line in the sand here at 73.63. We break down below that level. That takes us down to where we want to be. At the low 7,000 handle, possibly even a 6,000 handle on Bitcoin. But I wouldn't touch it right yet. You got it, Colton. Steve, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, so Bruin, wrapping up with Bitcoin, I think it's probably going to go lower. You know, might this support level here hold? Sure, why not? But I wouldn't be a buyer right there. I would want to see it consolidate, hold that support level, and then begin to move up higher. Ideally, I'm really holding out for the retest. That's the Pimp Mac Daddy. That's where you want to be, right down here, buying it with your stop loss right below. Here, there's a lot more risk because you want to keep a tight stop. But by where you're buying it here, you don't want to keep it too tight because you're going to get overshoots to the downside. So ideally, we pull back down here to the low 7,000s to high 6,000 handle on Bitcoin. And we'll leave off with LABU. Where's my LABU? There we go. All right. So, LABU I can't say enough about. Long term, very bullish. We have a monthly breakout. It's in the books. We closed just off the highs of the month. Beautiful stuff. Stokes hooking up. RSI hooking up. Higher lows, higher highs. Exactly what you want to see. Volume was wonderful. Weekly chart. Beautiful price action here. All right, but keep in mind, on a weekly basis, we're kissing the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We closed right there. And we closed just shy of the flattening out 200 period moving average. So the higher level view, monthly chart, very, very bullish stuff. Weekly chart, still bullish, but I think we're pulling back. Daily chart. RSI on a daily basis, 84.30. For an index, it's very overbought. We put in a new closing high on Friday. But look at where we're at. So were I long of LABU, I'd be booking some profits here, or selling covered calls, or a mixture of both. And I think that we could easily pull back and retest and fill this gap here. So were I looking to get long of LABU, of which I am, again, I sold this one way too quick. I'd be looking at the filling of the gap here between $46.70 and $44 per share. You'll have some support at $49 per share, but I think it'll overshoot to the downside. So that is my take on LABU. You bet, Colton. Everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Be well.